Chapter 31:22. Boss, say yes or we'll all die. Yeah, boss, let this woman go. Let's survive first. What kind of poison is this? It's so horrible. I've already started to get that thing on my leg. Before Riley could say anything, his men had completely collapsed. It was human nature to be afraid of death. In the end, after a long standoff with Huamin, Riley decided to agree to Huamin's conditions. Okay, I'll do whatever you want. Mr. Riley, I knew you're a smart man. You won't kill yourself and your men because of your blind loyalty to your master. That's much easier. Who was the one who drove the boat here? Huamin glanced at their faces and asked in a low voice. I can drive the boat. You give me the antidote first, Riley said. No, you can't. Huamin smiled. Why can't I? I can drive the boat too. Riley was a bit angry. Everyone here can drive the boat except you. Because you're their leader. Send out a small soldier so I can control him. But I advise you not to waste my time. From now on, before we leave the island, you'd better listen to me. Otherwise, if the poison accelerates, you won't be able to save yourself even if you have the antidote. Huamin was still threatening them. These people didn't have medical skills and didn't know what kind of poison they were infected with. So, they didn't dare to disobey Huamin. Boss, let's do as he says. John, come out and drive the boat. Riley glared at a skinny white man who was sneaking around. Boss. The man timidly came out from the back of the crowd. When he passed by Riley, Riley lowered his voice and said, Be smart. Find a chance to tie this woman up after you get all the antidote. Boss. It turned out that Riley had other plans. He wanted to get the antidote but didn't want to let Huamin go. Indeed, if Wuxia woke up and found Huamin gone, he wouldn't be any better than dead. Unfortunately, they seemed to have underestimated Huamin, a weak Asian woman. Miss Hua, I'll steer the boat. Give me the antidote first. John extended his hand to Huamin. Huamin glanced at him and took out a small glass bottle. Here's half of the antidote. Take it first, and your strength will recover a little. It won't affect your sailing. However, the poison isn't cured. I'll give you the other half after I safely get ashore and leave. This? Hardedef was dumbfounded as well. It seemed like everything his boss had told him was useless now. Of course, I'm doing this because I'm afraid that you'll go back on your word and hurt me. You don't like trusting strangers, Huamin said word by word. Hearing this, Huamin glanced at Riley cautiously. They were all thinking that this woman was too cunning. She only gave Hardedef an ordinary antidote, so he definitely wouldn't dare to play any tricks. His lifeline was still in her hands. How is it? Aren't you going to get on the boat? Are you waiting for the poison to take effect? Huamin sneered. The woman that the boss likes is indeed extraordinary. Miss Hua, you're amazing. Riley admired this woman from the bottom of his heart. A weak woman facing a dozen strong foreign men, each with a gun in their hands. The kind that could send her to her death at any time, Huamin wasn't afraid at all. Instead, she was meticulous and thought of all the possibilities and impossibilities. Even a tough guy like Riley couldn't help but admire him for his intelligence and bravery. Mr. Riley, you flatter me. I just want to protect myself. Since we've reached an agreement, let's get on the boat. Huamin smiled. Chapter 31:23. Please wait, Riley suddenly interrupted Huamin. Is there anything else, Mr. Riley? Huamin frowned. He didn't want anything to happen. Before I leave, I need to check on my boss and leave him enough food and water. Otherwise, he won't be able to hold on. After that, Riley walked towards the basement alone. Huamin narrowed his eyes. His expression was complicated, but he didn't stop him. With Wuxia's current condition, he was probably still unconscious. There was no way he could recover immediately after taking the medicine. It would take some time for him to suppress Jack. Therefore, he wasn't worried about what Wuxia would say to him. It could only mean that Riley was truly loyal to Wuxia. The remaining 10 or so men stayed behind with Huamin. However, they didn't dare to get close to this woman. Just then, a black man in the crowd cursed in English, Brothers, we're a group of men. This woman has potential. It's not a good idea. Why don't we just tie her up and cut her ass off bit by bit until she gives us the antidote? Otherwise, if she doesn't give us the antidote when we get to the shore, we'll be dead for sure. After the black man's incitement, some of the men seemed to be tempted. They looked at Huamin with eager eyes. Boss Riley is loyal to Mr. Hua, but we're not. We just want to stay alive, the black man continued. But if Mr. Hua wakes up and finds out that we hurt this woman, we'll die too. Boss Riley said that we can't let a single hair of this woman go missing. Someone seemed to be worried. We don't care whose woman she's in our current state. We're about to die. Plus, she's so timid. She won't wait for us to cut her before she gives us the antidote. She'll probably give us the antidote right away. What do you think? The black man suddenly stood up, enduring the pain. The others were also incited, but they didn't dare to act rashly. They knew that Riley would be back in a moment. Huamin coldly glanced at the black man's face. Black man, I advise you not to do this. What's wrong? Are you scared, bitch? If you're scared, then take out the antidote. The black man's gaze was fierce. He might have thought that he was a tall and strong man, but he was restrained by a small woman with so many men around him. His heart was seriously unbalanced. Therefore, they took advantage of Riley's absence to stage such a farce. I can easily poison you. Do you think you can hurt me? Huamin smiled. He had long heard that there were some people in Africa who were simple-minded, all brawn and no brains. However, their EQ and IQ were extremely low. Today, it seemed that this was indeed the case. This black man, who had started the trouble, had stepped forward to stir up trouble and find fault with Huamin. He was really not smart. However, he did not seem to know that he was in the wrong. Woman, don't scare me. Boss is afraid of you and doesn't dare to touch you, but I don't care. If you don't hand over the antidote, I'll break your neck right now. As he spoke, he slowly walked towards Huamin. It's not a good thing for you to get close to me like this. Why don't you just take out your gun? Huamin reminded him. I don't need a gun to deal with an ant like you. The black man seemed to be very conceited, thinking that victory was already in his hands. As the black man approached Huamin step by step, 2 silver needles suddenly appeared in Huamin's hands behind his back. These were self-made life-saving tools. She didn't think that she would have to use them so soon. Unfortunately, before the black man could reach Huamin, a gunshot was heard. Then, everyone was dumbfounded. Chapter 31-24. Boss, Huamin's subordinates saw Riley raise his gun not far behind Huamin. As for that black ghost, he had already fallen to the ground with a loud thud, with a large bloody hole in his head. Seeing this, Huamin's stomach churned and she almost threw up. Turning her head, she covered her chest and retched. Are you okay? Riley walked over and glanced at Huamin expressionlessly. Huamin shook his head and didn't want to speak. The rest of you, listen up. If anyone dares to hurt Miss Hua, you'll end up like him. Pointing at the fallen black guy, Riley said righteously. Yes, he had always known how important this woman was to their boss. Boss, we didn't do that. It was him. He provoked us. Okay, stop talking. Let's get on the boat. Finally, Huamin followed them onto the speedboat and watched it leave the island. Huamin heaved a long sigh of relief. I hope I'll never come back to this damned place. Huamin murmured to herself. This place was heaven for Huasiqian, but it was hell for her. Baby, mommy will take you home. Let's go find daddy and sis. Huamin touched the baby in her belly and smiled contentedly for the first time in days. Meanwhile, Qin Chu was still on the plane to Australia. President Qin, here are the files you asked for. Qin Chu took the files and found it was a thick stack. He didn't expect there to be so many islands near Australia. If he searched them one by one, how long would it take? After a moment of consideration, he decided to call Lu Yen again. Lu Yen was very high-tech and could even make calls and video calls while flying. No one could beat her. The watches she and the professor were wearing were specially made by the professor and were very powerful communication devices. Coincidentally, before Qin Chu could call her, Lu Yen called him first. Brother-in-law, where are you? He's in transit. Roar, then I'm faster than you. I'll land in an hour. I have a lot of information about the large and small islands near Australia, but there are too many of them. I think it's a waste of time. Can you find a way to quickly filter some of them? Well, I have a way. Leave it to me. I don't need any information. Once I land, I need to meet someone important. Qin Chu was curious. It's a secret, but if we succeed this time, you don't have to thank me, you have to thank Xiao Fei. Before Lu Yen could finish her words, Xiao Fei cut off the video call. Damn it. Why can't I finish? Lu Yen looked innocent. Are you stupid? Why are you telling brother-in-law all this? Don't worry, brother-in-law won't laugh at you. After all, you're doing this for the sake of saving my sister. Even so, you're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to say it, do you hear me? Xiao Fei was going crazy. Maybe Lu Yen was out of her mind to come up with such a stupid idea. You'll land in an hour, Psycho Xiao. Do your best, Pot. I do have a specialty. Do you want to try it? Xiao Fei suddenly leaned close to Lu Yan's face. Lu Yan's cheeks instantly turned red. Pervert, you're taking advantage of me? Lu Yan punched Xiao Fei with her fist. I didn't even touch you. You call that taking advantage of me? Miss Lu Yan, are you paranoid? Xiao Fei rolled his eyes at Lu Yan. Chapter 31:25. I don't have paranoia, but I do have mania. Do you want me to beat you up? Lu Yan chuckled. Xiao Fei, okay. Stop fooling around. Get ready and dress up. We'll carry out your mission in a while. You seem eager to send your husband out. Xiao Fei looked at her quietly. No. I'm just looking forward to it. I wonder how that guy will react when he sees you. Xiao Fei looked at Lu Yan, speechless. This damned girl always said whatever she thought of. 1 hour later, Lu Yan's private plane arrived in Sydney, Australia. Due to her special identity, Lu Yan didn't have a good account. She pulled some strings and changed her clothes and drove to a World Trade Center. Mr. Smith, this is my friend, Mr. Chiao. Ahem. Her subordinates behind her almost spat out blood. Was it really okay to call the aloof young master Chiao Xiao Chiao? What a weird scene. The old white man was chubby with a beard on both sides of his face. He looked very tough. His beard didn't match the suit he was wearing. Miss Lu's friend is very pretty. Yeah, he used the word pretty to describe Xiao Fei, a man. I know Mr. Smith has a soft spot for Asian faces, so I brought my friend to accompany you. Lu Yan said that but cursed him in her heart. Damn gay. I'll teach you a lesson when we're done. Miss Lu, you're so polite. Do you need my help? The bearded white man's smile was creepy. Yes, Mr. Smith. To tell you the truth, I have a sister who went missing recently. We checked and found out that she was kidnapped and brought to an island in Australia. But you know, there are too many islands in Australia. Australia itself is a big island, so I really don't know where to start. Oh, I see. It's a pity that your sister went missing, the old white man said subtly. So, Mr. Smith, I know you're in charge of the information on all the islands. Can you help us investigate the information on all the islands? We'll investigate it ourselves. How can I? It's confidential. Many islands are sold to individuals. I don't allow customers' information to be leaked. The old Caucasian man was very determined. Lu Yan sneered. That's why I came to you, Mr. Smith. I know you have a lot of connections. Can you make an exception for me? I miss my sister very much. Miss Lu, you're making things very difficult for me. Although I really want to help Miss Lu, I do have my duties. The old Caucasian man kept speaking in a bureaucratic tone. Lu Yan didn't want to waste time with them and waved her hand at her subordinates. His subordinate immediately handed him a leather case. Lu Yan handed the leather suitcase to the old man and opened it in front of him. Here's $1 million. Mr. Smith, take it first. When I find my sister, I'll give you another $2 million as a reward. The old man's expression changed when he saw the money. I understand Miss Lu's feelings of wanting to find her sister, but as a government employee, it's not good for me to bend the law for personal gain. At my age, it's better for me to retire properly. Why don't you go and pour a cup of tea for Mr. Smith? Lu Yen coughed lightly. Xiao Fei looked confused and displeased. Why should he pour tea for this old man? Chapter 31:26. Lu Yen kept winking at Xiao Fei. Although Xiao Fei was reluctant, he still walked over and poured a cup of hot water for the old man from Bayern. He placed it on the table. When the old man reached for the cup, he touched Xiao Fei's hand. Xiao Fei was so disgusted that he almost took out a dagger and stabbed him. I'm interested in China's culture, especially tea ceremony. Many Chinese try to please me by giving me high-quality pu or tea leaves. I've heard about Mr. Smith's love for China. Lu Yen smiled. I especially like people with Chinese faces. Then the old man glanced at Xiao Fei. Lu Yan's subordinates finally understood what their boss meant. Does boss want young Master Qiao to seduce this white guy? Ahem. Why did young Master Qiao agree? It's not like him. With our boss's temper, no one dares to disagree. That's not right. Boss always deals with people crudely. She either kills them or blows them up. Why did she change her approach this time? I heard the old man's brother is one of the most influential people in Australia. Boss is afraid it'll be troublesome if she kills him directly. Her subordinates whispered to each other not far away. Xiao Fei clenched his fists patiently. His expression changed. Lu Yen immediately walked over and put her arm around Xiao Fei's shoulder. Then she lowered her voice and said, "Hold it in, Psycho Qiao. We still need this old man to help us get information." Then, Lu Yen turned around and looked at Smith. "Mr. Smith, I'm a straightforward person. How about this? You take the money and take my men with you. Get me the information, okay? Thank you for your kindness, Miss Lu, but..." Smith seemed to want to refuse. Losing her patience, Lu Yen held Xiao Fei's hand and walked out. "If that's the case, forget it. Let's go." "Hey, wait a minute." Smith seemed to be in a hurry. Lu Yen paused with a smug smile on her face. "Is there anything else, Mr. Smith?" Lu Yen turned around and asked. "I've thought about it. After all, Miss Lu is a friend recommended by an acquaintance. If that's the case, it would seem too disloyal of me if I don't help." Smith said a lot of nonsense. "So?" Lu Yen raised an eyebrow. "So, let's do as Miss Lu said just now. I've taken the money, and I'll take her away. I'll get someone to send the information to you right away, but there's one thing." "What is it?" Lu Yen was displeased to see the old man's condition. "You can only read the information here. You can't take it away. After all, this is a confidential document. If it gets leaked and falls into the hands of others, I'll be dead for sure," Schmidt said. Lu Yen knew the files Schmidt took out contained information about the hidden billionaires in the world. Many of the islands were bought by them at sky-high prices, but they didn't want to attract attention. If this information was leaked out, then there would be a lot of assassins who would come looking for him to rob him of his wealth. "I understand what you mean, Mr. Smith. Okay, I promise you. I'll get someone to send the information to you now." Then Schmidt put away the box swiftly. It was obvious that he was a greedy person. While Schmidt was on the phone, Lu Yen leaned over and whispered in Xiao Fei's ear, "Be careful. This guy is a perverted gay. I think he'll do something to you." Hearing this, Xiao Fei wanted to strangle Lu Yen to death. Chapter 31:27. Lu Yen, good for you. Xiao Fei was furious. "Don't be afraid. I'll finish reading the files soon and go to this old guy's house to save you. You can have fun with him." Before Xiao Fei could speak, Lu Yen took his hand and walked to the old white man. "Mr. Smith, I'll leave my friend to you. Please treat him well." "Of course. I like friends from China the most." The old white man was in a good mood. "Okay, my friend will definitely treat you well. Have a good time." After Lu Yen said those dirty words, she and her subordinates moved to the side of the road. At this moment, two female secretaries knocked on the door and walked in with tall files in their hands. "Mr. Smith, these are the files you asked for. Put them here." "Are all the files I asked for? Did you miss anything?" Lu Yen looked at the files and asked worriedly. "Don't worry. They're all here. All the islands in Australia, big and small, have been recorded. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Xiao, come home with me. The old white man looked at Xiao Fei lecherously. Xiao Fei didn't speak. Instead, he walked out of the door and the old man followed him. After Xiao Fei left, one of Lu Yan's subordinates couldn't help but ask, "Boss, are you really going to give young Master Xiao to that perverted gay man? What else? Should I give him to you?" Lu Yan glared at him. No. I'm not as pretty as young Master Xiao. At least you know your place, Lu Yan said as she flipped through the files on the islands. But boss, will young Master Xiao be in danger? One of Lu Yan's female subordinates asked worriedly. He won't. But I heard that this Schmidt is a very perverted old man. It is said that many Chinese students have died tragically in his house. Some of them were even never found. Many parents in China have made a fuss about it. But because it is a foreign case and Schmidt has a backer behind him, it was left unsettled in the end. Don't worry. Xiao Fei isn't a Chinese student. Lu Yan smiled. But Schmidt's house is heavily guarded and has a lot of bodyguards. Young Master Xiao, you're good at fighting, but you can't bring your weapon in. What? Xiao Fei is in danger. Are you nervous? Lu Yan glanced at her female subordinate. The female subordinate immediately blushed. No, I just feel that young Master Xiao treats boss very well. Boss shouldn't treat him like that. Xiao Fei and I have been together for so many years that we have a tacit understanding of each other. Don't worry about it. Hurry up and help me look through the information. If there are any suspicious islands, immediately record them down for me. We'll quickly filter them out. Yes, boss. Xiao Fei left with the old white man while Lu Yan and her subordinates quickly browsed through the information on all the islands in the building. On the other side on the deserted island, Huamin used the antidote to force these people to board the ship and leave the island with her. Along the way, she didn't dare to sleep and ate very little. She was even very careful when she went to the toilet. After all, the people on the ship weren't ordinary people. How long until we reach land? Huamin asked Riley. So, what's the name of the place we're going to? Huamin asked. After a moment of hesitation, Riley said, Tasmania. What? Tasmania? That means we're in Australia? Huamin was slightly surprised. Not bad. You know a lot of places. Riley glanced at Huamin and said slowly. Chapter 31:28. Huamin was no stranger to Australia. She liked to travel and had studied many beautiful towns around the world. Tasmania was one of them. As a famous town in Australia, it had a good location and beautiful scenery. It was only 240 kilometers away from Victoria. Huamin always thought she was kidnapped to an island far, far away in Africa. She didn't expect that she was still in Australia. Although he was surprised, there was still a trace of joy in his heart after the surprise. She suddenly felt that she was very close to home. Miss Hua, forgive me for asking, but I really don't understand. My boss is so good to you. Why do you hate him? Although it was Riley's first time meeting Huamin, he had heard a lot about her. Huaxiqian had been thinking about this woman for so many years. What kind of logic is that? If someone is good to you, you have to marry him? Huamin laughed. Riley, love is the most unreasonable thing in the world. It's hard to explain, and it's mutual. It's not one-sided. Love itself is a wonderful thing, and it shouldn't become a forced pain. As for your boss's obsession with me, I've always wanted to tell you that it's because he's been unhappy all these years that he can't bear to see other people's happiness. My husband, Qin Chu, treats me better than your boss in his entire life. But don't you think it's rare for someone to be obsessed with you all these years? So what? Do I have to marry him because of this? I don't love him. How do you want me to live with him? But as far as I know, you don't love your ex-boyfriend either. But you still dated him in college, Riley said calmly. You know a lot. Huamin was surprised that Riley knew about her relationship with her ex-boyfriend, Ning Ziyuan. This meant that Huaxiqian's subordinate had done a lot of research on him. My story with Ning Ziyuan is actually very simple. Back then, there was a misunderstanding between me and my husband. After being separated for many years, I always thought that I should live a normal life. Huamin no longer wanted to talk about the past. The grudge between her and Ning Ziyuan had already been written off. If someone hadn't deliberately mentioned it, she wouldn't have even remembered who this person was. It wasn't that Huamin was heartless, but that Ning Ziyuan didn't leave much color in Huamin's life. He didn't love Huamin as much as Qin Chu did, nor was he as great as Su Yu, who treated Huamin well without asking for anything in return. There was also no one like Hua Xiqian who persisted until now. Therefore, there was really nothing much to say about that person. Okay, everyone says that Miss Hua has a high IQ. You're indeed very logical when you speak. Riley smiled. Cut the crap. We're not friends. I don't need to chat with you here. Since we're almost on land, where are my money and passport? Huamin asked. Money is not a problem. You don't need 1,000 yuan. I can even give you 10,000 yuan, said Riley. However, from his tone, it seemed that there was more to it, so Huamin didn't rush to answer. As expected, Riley continued, it's not that I don't want to do the passport. I don't have your passport at all. Then how did I get here? Huamin questioned. When you came here, you were still unconscious. Boss pulled some strings to bring you here. Boss probably has a forged passport, but it's not with me. Then won't it be troublesome for me to stay here without an identity? Huamin questioned. Yes, overseas people often checked documents. It was very troublesome for a foreigner to stay here without a passport. They couldn't even take a plane or a truck or leave here. Chapter 31:29. Riley didn't say anything. Huamin was clearly annoyed that she hadn't thought of this. Why don't you give me half of the antidote when we get there? I'll take you to my contacts and get them to give you a certificate to prove your identity. No need, Huamin refused right away. Are you wary of me? Riley chuckled. Of course I am. You're Hua Xiqian's man. I don't want to go back to that godforsaken place ever again. Huamin walked to the stern of the boat and looked at the waves stirred by the boat. She had mixed feelings. She might have to think of another way to prove her identity. Luckily, she could speak English. Otherwise, it would be hard for her to survive here. The boat slowly approached the shore. Huamin was the first to jump onto the boat. She didn't need anyone's help and acted like a tough woman. Miss Hua, where's our antidote? Riley reached out his hand. I need to take John away. When I think we're somewhere safe, I'll give all of your antidote to John. No way. If you run away, where are we going to find the antidote? Someone protested. I won't run away. John is watching me, right? Unless you don't trust him? Huamin asked. Riley remained silent. He seemed to be considering whether Huamin's plan would work. Boss, I'll definitely bring the antidote back to you. I won't let this woman run away, John said with a gun in his hand. Boss, say something. Will this method work? Miss Hua, there are so many of us. You should at least give us part of the antidote first. Have you left the island? Riley asked. Mr. Riley, don't negotiate with me. Even if I've left the island, I'll still take you down with me if we can't reach an agreement. Huamian was determined not to compromise with them. How can you be like this? Someone couldn't help but curse in English. Don't negotiate with me. After all, the antidote is in my hands. Honestly, do you have the antidote or not? Are you trying to be mysterious? You didn't bring anything with you when you left. Where is the antidote? Why don't I believe it? A young white man was curious. After he said this, everyone looked at Huamin's bag. When Huamin left the island, he only carried a backpack. No one knew what was inside because she didn't open it during the journey. Even when going to the toilet, he had to carry her. All of these people became greedy. If there was really an antidote inside, wouldn't it be better to just snatch it and consume it directly? The antidote. Of course I have it. You'd better not have any other ideas. Otherwise, you'll lose more than you gain. Huamin glanced at Riley indifferently. I don't believe her. I think the antidote is in this bag. No, I can't let her go. I need the antidote. The Caucasian young man pounced over. Matthew, stop it. Riley didn't agree with Matthew's approach. After spending so much time with Huamin, he found that this woman was very smart and terrifyingly meticulous. She was more than enough to deal with men like them. The antidote wouldn't be as simple as just in the bag. But this Caucasian young man seemed to have lost his mind due to his marijuana addiction and didn't listen to Riley. Instead, he walked directly to Huamin and rudely pulled Huamin's bag off her back. Huamin didn't resist. When he opened the bag, he found some daily necessities, a towel, a toothbrush, and a medium-sized wooden box. The antidote must be in here. After the Caucasian young man said this, the other's eyes lit up. I advise you not to touch my things. Huamin warned with a dark face. Chapter 31:30. But Huamin didn't stop. He pushed Huamin away roughly, snatched the box, and opened it impatiently. In an instant, his hand was bitten by something. Then he threw the box on the ground. Everyone's faces turned pale when they saw the little thing inside. Little sweetheart, are you scared? Huamin immediately squatted down and picked up the little insect on the ground. It was a centipede as thick as a pinky finger, and its body was red. Just looking at it was enough to make one's scalp tingle. Boss, it's so painful. The young white man suddenly fell to the ground with a thud. His face turned green, and he was in so much pain that he wanted to die. Riley took a look and saw that Matthew's entire arm had started to turn black and blue. What bit him? Riley looked at Huamin. Didn't you see it? It's a poisonous centipede. Huamin touched the centipede with his hand, and the men all retreated in fear. Boss, it hurts, help me. The man looked at Riley and screamed for help. Then he rolled on the ground. Miss Hua. Riley seemed to want to ask Huamin for help. I can't do anything. I told him not to touch my things, but he wouldn't listen, Huamin said. Hurry up and give him the antidote for the centipede. He didn't do it on purpose, Riley said. He didn't do it on purpose? Also, there's no antidote for the centipede. So, you guys better stay away from me. I'm really scared that my pet will accidentally bite you. If that happens, there'll be nothing I can do. Then, Huamin purposely rubbed the centipede in front of Riley's face, making him retreat in fear. At this moment, the white young man lying on the ground was foaming at the mouth. He looked like he was dying. Someone wanted to help him up, but Huamin reminded them coldly, you better not touch him. He's poisoned. If you want to die, do it. After saying that, those people all retreated again and distanced themselves from Matthew. Boss, what should we do? Someone asked Riley. Riley glanced at Matthew helplessly and took out his pistol. Bro, I'll give you a quick death. With a bang, the man's head was shot by Riley's pistol. Red blood immediately flowed out and soaked the ground. If it's poisonous, why didn't it bite you? Someone asked Hua in English. Because he saw the deadly centipede lying motionlessly in Huamin's palm like a child. Because it's my pet. You're a psycho? Riley looked at Huamin with a chill in his heart. A psycho? You flatter me. I'm not even 1/10 as good as your boss, Huaxiqian. I'm just trying to protect myself. So, what's my plan? If John comes with me, I'll give him the antidote. But if you continue to confront me, I'm not sure how long it'll take for the poison to take effect. Huamin wasn't a person who was willing to be led by the nose. At critical moments, he always surprised people. After the centipede incident, the men didn't dare to approach Huamin anymore. They thought this woman was too powerful. They didn't know how many things she had that were related to pain. They were really afraid that she might drag out a king cobra at any time. Okay, I agree. Finally, Riley compromised and agreed to Huamin's condition. Chapter 31:31. Huamin smiled slightly when Riley relented. John. Spus. Go and send Miss Hua away. When she's safe, come back with the antidote. Boss, will the woman run away and lose the antidote? Many people still didn't believe in Huamin's character. No, Miss Hua isn't that kind of person. She wouldn't kill more than a dozen people for no reason. You sound like you know me very well. Huamin smiled faintly. The person that the boss values can't be such a vicious woman. But 2 of your men died because of me. Huamin reminded him. Riley had shot a man who didn't know what was good for him on the island. Now, another man wanted to steal the antidote, but he suffered the consequences of his own actions. Those two deserved it. It wasn't Miss Hua's fault, Riley said mildly. It sounded like Riley was an open-minded person, although he was old-fashioned and didn't smile much. If that's the case, it's no problem. Since Mr. Riley trusts me so much, I won't let you down. I'll give you the antidote, but I have to leave you safely, I know. Can you give me the money? Huamin reached out his hand. It was the first time he was so thick-skinned to ask a man for money, especially a man he didn't know very well. Riley slowly took out his wallet from his pocket and took out a thick stack of US dollars. There should be about 5,000 here. It's enough for you to live here for a few days. I know. Huamin took the money quickly. I can't give you a passport, but if you want to get a certificate, I can help you. No need. But Miss Hua, I have a word of advice for you. Go ahead. Huamin put the money in his bag and looked up at Riley. Although this is Australia, it's not very peaceful. You know, there are still some anti-Chinese people here, especially you, a weak girl. After 6 o'clock in the evening, try not to go out and walk around. It's okay for the local residents, but if you meet some black people, it's troublesome. It's easy to be kidnapped and blackmailed. You have to be careful. Okay, Mr. Riley. Thank you for your advice. I'll keep it in mind. Huamin smiled. John, see Miss Hua out, said Riley. Yes, boss. Then that's it. I only hope that I'll never have the chance to meet you again, Mr. Riley. That's it. After saying this, Huamin turned around and left, closely followed by the man called John, who was closely followed by Huamin. Looking at Huamin's back, Riley's expression became complicated. Boss, should we send people to follow them? No, Miss Hua is very smart. If she finds out that we're still following her, we'll lose more than we gain. We haven't gotten the antidote yet, so we shouldn't complicate things. Oh, so we're just going to leave Miss Hua alone? Of course not. After we get the antidote and detoxify her, I'll send a new group of people to secretly catch her. Otherwise, if she escapes and the boss wakes up, I won't be able to explain it to him. Riley's original intention was to deliver the antidote to Huasiqian and meet the boss. He didn't expect such a big thing to happen, and the boss was still unconscious on the deserted island. When he woke up and found that Huamin was gone, he might be furious. He might even kill them all. After walking for a while, Huamin was a little tired and turned to look at John. Are you hungry? Huh? John was dumbfounded. Chapter 31-32. I asked, Are you hungry? Huamin repeated. Oh, I'm okay. John didn't know how to answer Huamin's question. But I'm hungry. Can you take me to a place to eat first? Should we go to a Chinese restaurant? John asked. I don't want to be too eye-catching. Let's find a fast food restaurant and have hamburgers. Okay. John and Huamin left the restaurant together. After a long drive, they found a fast food restaurant and sat down. You go and order. I want hamburgers, Coke, and fried chicken. You can order whatever you want. Huamin took out a big dollar bill and handed it to John. Here's the rest of the money. You can take the car back later. Miss Hua, about the antidote, don't worry. I'll give it to you after dinner. John took the money Huamin gave him and stood up to line up for food. Maybe it was because John was a foreigner. Huamin's appearance didn't attract much attention in the restaurant. People only glanced at him occasionally when they saw his Asian face. While John was standing in line to buy food, Huamin carefully took out a small glass bottle from his sleeve. Then, he took some mineral water from the fast food restaurant and diluted the water in the small bottle. The big bottle was colorless and odorless. John wasn't far away. He turned around and saw Huamin mixing the antidote, and he felt a lot more relieved. Huamin knew John was watching, so he smiled slightly and didn't say anything. In fact, the small glass bottle was also filled with water. She diluted it on purpose for John to see. John would definitely think it was the antidote. Those who were poisoned by the soul-eating grass didn't suffer much. As long as they drank more water, they would be fine in about a week. But Huamin wouldn't tell them this. They would never be able to guess Huamin's style of doing things. She was similar to Lu Yen in that she had to try regardless of whether she was confident or not. Coupled with their fearless and calm faces, most people would choose to believe them. Lu Yen could even fool Ian. She had to admit that she had a strong mentality. John came back with his shopping and put the tray on the table. Huamin ate and drank the hamburger and cola without saying a word. Miss Hua. Then, why didn't the centipede bite you? Hardadef had been wanting to ask this all along. Because it likes me. John, Miss Hua, don't lie to me. I don't believe you. As for why it didn't bite me, you don't have to worry about it. I definitely have my ways, but I know that if you have other thoughts and do something bad to me, I will definitely let it bite you. You saw what happened to Matthew, right? I don't have any bad intentions. I just want to get the antidote safely and leave. This is the antidote. Huamin pushed the bottle of mineral water to John. How do I drink it? Is there a requirement? 1 sip per person. Then, for the next week, each person has to drink 20 glasses of water and do 100 push-ups every day. What does the antidote have to do with push-ups? John was surprised. Because strenuous exercise can detoxify the poison. Oh, I see. I understand. Thank you, Miss Hua. John carefully hid the bottle of mineral water in his pocket, afraid that he would lose it. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. In fact, those people were already fine. The dosage wasn't that high to begin with, but they were scared after seeing the reaction on their bodies. Making them drink 20 glasses of water a day was indeed to speed up the detoxification process, but doing 100 push-ups was purely a joke. Huamin didn't like Hua Xiqian's subordinates at all. Miss Hua, what are you going to do after I leave? You're a foreign woman without a passport or identity. Even if you have money, it's hard to live here. The Australian police are very rude. John reminded Huamin. Chapter 31-33. I'm fine. I have my ways, Huamin said as he ate his hamburger. All right then. I wish you good luck. After the meal, John walked out of the front door with the antidote in his hand. Huamian, on the other hand, disappeared into the alley behind him. When John returned, everyone was waiting for him. Where's the antidote? Riley asked. It's here, boss. Where's Miss Hua? She's still in the hamburger shop. She hadn't finished eating when I left. Did you see the antidote? Are you sure it's real? Riley asked. I think so. I saw Miss Hua take out a bottle of antidote from her sleeve and mix it with water. Did she tell you how to take it? Riley looked at the bottle of water. She did. Miss Hua said everyone has to take a sip of the antidote and drink 20 glasses of water every day for the next week. Oh, and do 100 push-ups every day. Riley, Miss Hua said the exercise will speed up the detoxification process. Then, Lu Li opened the bottle of water and took a big gulp. Then, he handed the bottle to his subordinates. This time, they suffered a great loss in transporting supplies. A group of men was fooled by a little girl. On the other side, in Sydney, inside a suburban mansion, Smith took Xiao Fei back to his private mansion. Then, he led him to his master bedroom impatiently. Xiao, do you want to take a shower first? The old white man asked wickedly. Mr. Smith, you can take a shower first. I'll wait for you here. Okay, baby. I'll be right out. Before entering the bathroom, the old white man gave Xiao Fei an evil look. Xiao Fei snorted. When he entered, he was searched by the bodyguards at the door. They weren't allowed to bring in any weapons, including high-tech scanners. So, Lu Yin didn't let him bring a pistol or a dagger. So, in a while, 10 minutes later, the old white man came out impatiently. He was wearing a loose white bathrobe, and a black whip had appeared in his hand out of nowhere. There was even some dark red stuff on it that looked like dried blood. Let's start with the most basic one. What do you think? Smith asked with a smile. Sure, I have no problem with that. Xiao Fei was extremely calm. Baby, take off your clothes first and put this on. After saying that, the old man took out a set of leathers that were specially made for dogs' necks from the cabinet at the side. There were also heavy chains on it. Xiao Fei lowered his head and slowly picked up the chain, weighing it in his hand. Take off your clothes, the old white man said condescendingly. Xiao Fei remained unmoved and sat on the sofa. The old white man seemed to have lost his patience and whipped Xiao Fei. Xiao Fei was quick to react. He grabbed the whip and held it tightly. "You dare to disobey me?" the old white man asked. "Why should I listen to an old pervert like you?" Xiao Fei asked in fluent English. "If you're obedient, I'll let you go after I'm done with you. But if you don't, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. I don't mind telling you that every month I'll cripple a few Asian men like you. They include students, models, and actors." The old white man smiled viciously. "Oh really? Then you can try it on me." Xiao Fei's tone was as calm as ever. "Kid, don't be so ungrateful. I don't have a good temper," Smith said as he walked towards Xiao Fei. Chapter 31-34. What a coincidence. I don't have a good temper either. Xiao Fei stood up slowly. The old man lunged at Xiao Fei's face. Before he could grab Xiao Fei's collar, Xiao Fei grabbed him by the neck. "What do you want? Can't you see?" Xiao Fei glanced at the old man's face coldly. "Do you believe that I'll call my bodyguards right now?" Without waiting for him to finish, Xiao Fei put the dog leash that he had been fiddling with for a long time around his neck. Then he tightened his grip. Cough. Smith wanted to scream for help but couldn't even make a sound. "I won't kill you immediately. I'll let you hang here half dead," Xiao Fei said. Then he forcefully dragged Smith's broad body all the way to the hanger. He pulled on the chain around Smith's neck, and in this way, Smith's entire body was suspended in the air. He wouldn't die, but he felt terrible and couldn't make a sound. Xiao Fei didn't hurry to leave. Instead, he dragged a chair to the old man. Then, he took out his cell phone and started playing games to waste time. Smith didn't expect to meet a ghost after walking in the dark for so long. After torturing so many Asian boys, this was the first time he met someone so terrifying and cold-blooded. Xiao Fei's movements were so clean that he didn't have time to call for help. There were no sounds of fighting in the house, so the bodyguards outside the door couldn't find anything wrong. Smith's expression showed that he was in so much pain that he wanted to die. But Xiao Fei could still play games on his cell phone calmly. He was even in the mood to call the landlord. In less than 15 minutes, someone snuck into the house through the window. Young Master Qiao. Lu Yan's female subordinate was very agile. "Where's she?" "Boss didn't come. She asked me to pick you up. Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Let's go." "Don't we need to kill him?" The female subordinate seemed to hate the old man. After all, he had flirted with young Master Qiao. "If he dies, we'll have a lot of trouble. If we just leave like this, won't he be hanged?" The female subordinate was also a little worried. She didn't seem to understand Xiao Fei's thoughts. "No, half an hour later, his bodyguards will definitely come in to check if there's no movement." "All right, let's go then." Before leaving, Xiao Fei walked up to Smith and said slowly, "Jin's men will come and help you down. But you better be smart. If you dare to cause trouble for us, your mansion will be razed to the ground. I'm not threatening you. You should know how many bombs Lu Yan has." Smith couldn't speak and he couldn't answer. But from his eyes, it was clear that he was terrified. Then, Xiao Fei and Lu Yan's female subordinate left Schmidt's house. "Where are we going to find her?" "Boss said that young Master Qiao has worked hard and asked me to book a seat for you to have a sumptuous lunch." "What is she doing?" Xiao Fei asked. Boss found 5 islands that are particularly good from the information on those islands, so he sent a helicopter over. "Can't she wait for me?" Xiao Fei was displeased. Boss said that young Master Qiao, the mission is too tiring and you should wait for her in Sydney. "Xiao Fei, boss asked me to stay and protect you." "I'll take you to lunch first, young Master Qiao," the female subordinate said. "No, I'm not hungry. Do you need me to find a hotel for you to rest?" "No, I'll take a walk alone. You can go do your work." "No, boss asked me to protect you." The female subordinate was stubborn. "Protect me? Is Lu Yan drunk?" Xiao Fei was furious. He didn't know what was wrong with him, but he got a female subordinate who followed him like a tail. Not far away, in a black Toyota, a man wearing sunglasses was quietly watching this scene. Chapter 31-35. Should we do it now? The man in sunglasses asked the person on the other end of the line. No, just keep watching. Spus. Tasmania town. Huamin took the 5,000 yuan he got from Riley and found an inconspicuous motel to settle down. Then, he walked across a few streets and made a phone call from a phone booth. Dialing Qin Chu's familiar number, Huamin took a deep breath because he was very nervous. He would be able to hear Mr. Qin's voice soon. If he knew that he had escaped, he would be ecstatic. After dialing the number, there was a pause of 3 seconds. Suddenly, a robotic voice came from the other end of the line. Sorry, the subscriber you have dialed is unavailable. Huamin froze. Qin Chu rarely turned off his phone. It was usually on 24 hours a day. Did something happen to him? After her accident, did Qin Chu think that she was dead? No way, there were still 2 little ones at home. Huamin anxiously dialed South Hill Manor's number again. After about 10 seconds, the call was picked up. Ning Ning. Huamin recognized Qin Ning's voice. Sister-in-law? Qin Ning asked in disbelief. It's me. Huamin was a bit excited. Oh my God, sister-in-law. How could you call me? Where are you? Do you know that we've been looking for you like crazy? Qin Ning suppressed the ecstasy in her heart. I know. Is everything okay at home? Huamin asked. Yes, everyone is fine. We're all waiting for you to come back safely. Where's my husband? I called him, but his phone was turned off. Is he at home or at the company? Sai, what time is it now? How can my brother be in the mood to go to work? After your accident, my brother was so anxious that he fell into a coma and stayed in the military hospital for a long time. He only woke up after the operation 2 days ago. After he woke up, he didn't want to stay at home. He said that he had news about you and left in a hurry. I guess he should still be on the plane now, so you can't call him. I see. Where did he go? Huamin asked cautiously. My brother said that he's going to Australia. You're really coming to Australia? Huamin was excited again. It seemed like she was really close to Qin Chu. As long as she could find a way to leave this place and contact Qin Chu, the 2 of them should be able to meet in Sydney. Yes, my brother said that you might be in Australia. Okay, I got it. If your brother's phone is switched on, give him a call and tell him that I'm in Australia too. You're in Australia too? Oh my God, that's great. Where are you? Sister-in-law? Qin Ning asked. Huamin was about to tell her where she was when she heard a slight noise on the phone. She wasn't sure if her home phone was bugged or something like that. So, she didn't dare to continue and said hurriedly, anyway, he'll understand. I'll go find him. I'll call him again. Okay, sister-in-law. Be careful. Okay. Sister-in-law, how's the baby in your belly? Yeah, the baby's fine. That's great. Qin Ning was ecstatic. Ning Ning, Pudding and Little Bean, don't worry, sister-in-law. They're both fine, Qin Ning said. Okay, that's good. I'll have them come to the phone. No, wait for me to go back. Don't let the baby worry about me. Then Huamin hurriedly hung up the phone. She looked at the time. It had been more than 30 seconds. By the time Huamian left the phone booth, the sky had already darkened. Maybe it was because she was pregnant, but she was still hungry. Although she ate a lot at noon, she was still hungry. So, Huamin decided to find a convenience store and buy some food to take back to the motel. Just as she turned the corner and walked into the small path, she clearly felt that someone was following her from behind. Chapter 31-36. Huamin sneaked a peek at the sky. It was already dark. Nights overseas weren't as lively as nights in China. There weren't as many pedestrian streets and night markets. Even a place like Sydney was the same, let alone a small town like Tasmania. She had read a lot of news before that nights overseas weren't safe. After dark, there were many places where people couldn't walk around freely. Especially areas where black people lived, it was even more unsafe. Therefore, for a layman like Huamin, she didn't know where was safe and where she could walk. After the phone call, Huamin walked into a small alley and regretted not taking the main road or a crowded place. But now, there was no turning back. He could only quicken his pace and move forward. Huamin quickened her steps as if there was wind beneath her feet. However, she could clearly feel that the person behind her quickened his steps as well. Judging from the heavy footsteps, it was definitely a man. Huamin didn't dare to look back. She even started to jog. However, she could clearly feel that someone was grabbing her hair tightly. Then, they pressed her body against the wall. Huamin turned around and her expression changed drastically. It was a black man who was almost 1.9 meters tall. She couldn't tell his age. His face was dark and his eyes were filled with the hunger of a hunter. "Woman, you can't escape," the black man said in English fiercely. "Who sent you?" Huamin looked at him and asked. The black man was confused by Huamin's question. "Is it Riley or someone else?" Huamin asked again. "What Riley?" "I don't know him." From the black man's eyes, it didn't seem like he was lying to her. Huamin suddenly realized that she was being robbed. She reacted quickly and took out a few US dollars from her pocket. "If you want money, I'll give you this. This is all I have." "I don't want it." After the black man said that he didn't want it, Huamin suddenly felt a sense of fear. Then, the black man looked at Huamin with a lustful gaze and asked, "Korean?" Huamin did not say anything. "Japanese?" Huamin still did not answer. "Chinese? Singaporean? Hong Kong people? Taiwanese?" He seemed to be very curious about where Huamin came from. However, Huamin didn't know why he asked this question, so he didn't plan to say anything. "Forget it. Since you don't want to talk, I'll do it. Did you know that I'm especially infatuated with Korean girl groups? Their figures make people drool. Tell me, how can you Asians be so obedient? You're God's perfect masterpiece. Looks like I'll be able to enjoy a good meal today. Please, don't hurt me. What do you want? Tell me." Huamin lowered his stance as if he wanted the black man to let him go. "Let you go? No, it wasn't easy for me to get such a fun girl. How can I let you go? After I'm done with you, I'll take you back and show you to my brothers. They also like Asian faces. You're like a beautiful doll." Then, the black man licked his lips as if he had already trained Huamin. "Don't do this to me. I'm pregnant. I'm 3 months pregnant. I have a baby in my belly. He's very pitiful. Don't hurt us." Huamin thought that as long as a person had a little conscience, they wouldn't hurt a pregnant woman. But she was wrong. After hearing that she was pregnant, the black man seemed very excited. "Oh my God. I've never tried a pregnant woman before. It must be very exciting." Chapter 31-37. After hearing the black man's words, Huamin's face turned cold. Some people were really heartless. She told him she was pregnant, but he didn't let her go and wanted to continue his evil deeds. "Since you have no conscience, I think, I don't have to be nice to you," Huamin said coldly. Looking at the angry bird under his control, the black man froze and then laughed awkwardly. "Ha, interesting. Let's see how you can escape from me. Even if you scream for help, no one will come to save you. Because this is the black area, our territory. Do you understand? Ignorant woman." He thought that after saying that, the woman in front of him would be desperate, scared, and obedient to him. However, Huamin smiled. This smile carried a trace of coldness in the night. "What are you smiling at? What's so funny? Don't you know what you're facing?" The black man asked Huamin. "Of course I know what I'm facing. I even know what you're facing." Then, the black man felt his wrist go slightly numb. Then he subconsciously let go of his hand. Huamin took the opportunity to crawl out from under his arm and ran a few steps to the side. The black man wanted to run a few steps after him, but he found his feet were useless. "What did you do to me?" The black man was angry. "I told you. Between us, you're the big idiot. You don't know what you're facing." Huamin had a poisonous needle in his sleeve. He had soaked it in poisonous grass to protect himself. He didn't expect it to come in handy. At this moment, she really wanted to thank the poisonous grass on the island and her precious poisonous centipede. Before, Riley and even John were curious why the centipede didn't bite Huamin. It was because Huamin had the smell of herbs on him. When the centipede smelled it, it quieted down and didn't dare to move. In this world, there was no absolute powerhouse. Everything had its vanquisher. The centipede happened to be afraid of herbs, and Huamin happened to know that the centipede was afraid of herbs, so he found the herb and used it to wash his face. The black man found that not only were his arms and legs numb, but there were also some scarlet spots on his arms. "What did you do to me?" "Just wait for your death, black devil." This was the first time that Huamin hated black people so much. They bullied a weak woman like her. They were inhumane and deserved to die. "Do you believe that if I roar, all my friends here will surround you and eat you alive?" The black man was furious. "I only know that I won't let you have that chance. Go, baby." After Huamin finished speaking, he released the little centipede. It was extremely fast. Before the black man could call for help, the centipede had already bitten the black man's ankle. There was another sharp pain, coupled with the toxicity of the poison from before. The black man lay on the ground, his body twitching non-stop. "You reap what you sow." Huamin glanced at him coldly and turned to leave. She knew that this man would die. Other than Matthew, this was the second person to die in her hands. If it were before, she would feel guilty and uncomfortable. After all, as a doctor, her job was to save people. How could she live with herself when she killed someone? But now, things were different. Huamin only had one thought in her heart. Whoever stood in her way, she would kill them. No matter who they were. Inside a hotel suite in a Middle Eastern country, Mr. Ian, when we monitored Miss Huasiqian's phone, we found that she had escaped from Huasiqian's control. She said that she was in Australia. "Oh!" Ian raised his eyebrows slightly, seemingly surprised. Chapter 31-38. Did the woman escape? Ian asked. "I think so." "Huasiqian is still nowhere to be seen?" "Yeah, Huasiqian didn't show up." This is interesting. But sir, as long as we catch that woman, she'll definitely know where Huasiqian is." "Yes, so what are you waiting for? Hurry up and do a data analysis to find out where she was when she called." "Yes, sir, I'll do it right away." Yes, Huamin's phone was bugged. Ian was a very powerful enemy. He was able to determine Huamin's exact location based on the tracking data. This was definitely a very dangerous thing to do. Inside the small motel, Huamin lay on the bed, tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. The thought of going home made her inexplicably excited. But it seemed like it would be very difficult for her to go back. When she first left the island, she wondered why she didn't use Riley's phone to call Qin Chu for help. The answer was that she didn't trust those people at all. Why would they save Mr. Qin's phone number in their numbers? With Huasiqian's style, he must have done something to those people's phones. If that happened, wouldn't she and Mr. Qin be in danger? And just now, when she heard Qin Ning's voice, she was ecstatic. But when Ning Ning asked for the exact address, Huamin hesitated. It wasn't that she didn't trust Qin Ning, but she didn't trust those people. South Hill Manor's landline was probably bugged a long time ago. Only Mr. Qin's phone had an anti-bugging function, so if she wanted to call him, she would have to call Qin Chu directly next time. Thinking of Mr. Qin, Huamin's eyes softened. She put her hand on her belly again. "Baby, Daddy is coming to pick us up. Be good, follow Mommy, and listen to Mommy." Plus, Huamin felt that if Qin Chu turned on his phone, he would definitely hear Qin Ning's message. Then he would definitely come looking for him. With that thought in mind, Huamin eventually fell into a deep sleep. At around 2 in the morning, the sound of footsteps woke her up from her light sleep. She got up quietly. Huamin didn't dare to take off his clothes in case something unexpected happened. So she immediately got up and hid behind the door. After a while, she heard the sound of someone going up the stairs. Are you inside?" "Who is it?" Huamin asked cautiously. "I'm the waiter downstairs. A group of people are looking for a Chinese girl with the surname Hua. They said that her family is here to pick her up." "Family?" Huamin was slightly startled. "Yes, their cars are very nice. Your family seems to be very rich." Huamin looked at the window of the guest room. This was the 3rd floor. She couldn't escape by jumping down. She was also pregnant. So, she had to bite the bullet and go out to see who they were. Finally, Huamin hid the poisonous needles and centipedes. She carefully opened the door and walked downstairs. In fact, she also knew that these things could be used to deal with one person, but to deal with more than 10 or 20 people with guns, it was simply not a way to deal with them. With that thought, Huamin calmed down. She thought carefully and went downstairs. As expected, there were many tall men standing on the first floor. They were all dressed in suits and leather shoes. None of them looked familiar. They were completely different from Riley's group. Are you really here? The leader of the foreigners smiled at Huamin. Who are you? I'm Kevin. Mr. Qin sent me to pick you up. Mr. Qin? Huamin narrowed her eyes and asked suspiciously. Chapter 31-39. Your husband? President Qin, Mr. Qin Chu. How did he know I was here? Huamin clearly remembered that he didn't tell Qin Ning the exact location, let alone Qin Chu. It's like this, madam. Didn't you call home earlier? Miss Qin answered it. Later, Miss Qin got in touch with Mr. Qin. Mr. Qin asked us to find your location based on your call record with Miss Qin. We checked the phone booth and found that there was a public phone nearby. But we thought that you wouldn't be gone for too long since you're a woman, so we asked around for your whereabouts in all the nearby hotels and inns. I see. Then why didn't my husband call me himself? Huamin asked. Mr. Qin's whereabouts aren't very safe right now. Someone is following him, so it's not convenient. For your safety, he asked us to pick you up first and then find a safe place to meet him. Oh, I see. Huamin seemed a little hesitant. Madam, if you don't believe us, here's a recording of our conversation with Mr. Qin. Can you listen to it? Then, the man named Kevin took out his phone and walked up to Huamin. Then, he found the number in the call record and showed it to Huamin. It was indeed Qin Chu's phone number. Then, Kevin played the recording. Huamin leaned over and listened. You guys go pick him up. I'll see you later. It was a simple sentence, but it sounded like Qin Chu's voice. Can I talk to him again? Huamin looked at Kevin and asked. He didn't expect Huamin to say this, so he was a little surprised. But President Qin is on the plane again and his phone is off. Should we wait for him to get off? Okay. Huamin nodded. But you can't stay here anymore, madam. You have to come with us. Huasiqian's people are looking for you everywhere. It's not safe here anymore. Okay. Then hurry up and get in the car with us. Then where are we going now? Did my husband say where we should meet? We're also waiting for President Qin's instructions. Now, we just need to take him to a safe place and protect him. Kevin smiled, to express his friendliness towards Huamin. Huamin nodded his head as he looked at Kevin and the dozen foreign men behind him. He decided not to ask any more questions. Kevin opened the black Bentley for Huamin. After Huamin went up, Kevin smiled triumphantly. After driving for about 10 minutes, Huamin realized that the car was about to leave the town. He suddenly felt uneasy. Therefore, when they passed by a supermarket, Huamin suddenly clutched his stomach with a pained expression. It hurts. My stomach hurts so much. What's the matter, ma'am? I think I'm going to have a miscarriage. Miscarriage? You're pregnant? Kevin's face seemed to be very surprised. Didn't my husband tell you? President Qin. Maybe he didn't have time to tell us, Kevin explained. It hurts. Can you take me to the hospital? The hospital here doesn't have good facilities. I'll take you to our place. We have private doctors there. They're better than the ones here. Kevin didn't want Huamin to get out of the car. Then help me find a washroom. My stomach hurts so much that I want to go to the washroom. Otherwise, I can't do it in the car, right? Huamin frowned. After thinking for a while, Kevin glanced at the driver. Stop the car in front. We'll accompany ma'am to the washroom, Kevin ordered. Then, the car slowly stopped at the entrance of the shopping mall. I can go alone. You don't have to follow me. It's too much trouble, Huamin said. No, we have to protect you. We have to do what President Qin asked us to do. Then Kevin and his 4 men got out of the car with Huamin. Chapter 3140. When Huamin saw that this group of people wanted to follow her to the toilet, she was even more certain of her inner thoughts. However, these people were really good. They actually managed to get a recording of Qin Chu's voice. It seemed like they had gotten a recording of Qin Chu's meeting or something and then edited it. There must be a master behind this group of people. Otherwise, they wouldn't have planned it so carefully. However, they didn't dare to let Huamin talk to Qin Chu on the spot. This was the biggest loophole. After knowing Qin Chu for so many years, she understood Qin Chu's character very well. Even if he was in a hurry to catch a plane, he would still talk to Huamin. Therefore, from the beginning, Huamin obediently followed this group of people to stall for time. Because at that time in that small hotel, if she didn't follow these people, they wouldn't have let her go. If they really used force, she was afraid that it would be harmful to her unborn child. Huamin walked very slowly. Along the way, she carefully observed her surroundings to see if there was a chance to escape. Those people followed behind her closely, afraid that she would run away. In such a remote Australian town, Huamin was really fighting alone. She didn't dare to trust anyone, except for Qin Chu, who saw it with her own eyes. She really didn't trust anyone who came to pick her up or help her anymore. When she was young, she often said that there were only two things in the world that couldn't be looked at directly. They were the sun and the human heart. Now that she had seen so much good and evil, Huamin didn't dare to trust others casually. Finally, she arrived at the door of the toilet. Fortunately, this was a 24-hour shopping mall. There were quite a lot of people. At this time, the lights were still on. Huamin suddenly felt that there was hope for escape. "Okay, madam, you can go in. We'll protect you here." Kevin and his men stood at the door. "Okay." Huamin nodded and slowly walked in. When she first entered, she didn't walk in. Instead, she leaned against the wall to listen to what they were saying. Sure enough, some of Kevin's subordinates were unwilling to be left out. "Mr. Kevin, are you sure there won't be any problems? In my opinion, why don't we not let her go to the bathroom and just take her away? I'm so hungry." "It doesn't matter. It's dead inside. There's no other way out. There's not even a window. Where can she run to? Besides, if we use force and she notices something wrong, we won't be able to take her away smoothly. We don't want to cause trouble. Don't you remember what Sir told us?" "Yes, Mr. Kevin. It's up to you." None of them dared to raise any more objections. Huamin heard their conversation clearly. She heard a key person. "My lord?" "Well, lord. Which lord?" Huamin was a little confused. This didn't seem like the way they would address Huasiqian. Huasiqian's subordinates would usually address him as boss. If it wasn't Huasiqian, who else would want to kidnap her? Huamin quietly walked in after hearing what they said. She chose the bathroom in the mall because there were a lot of people and it wouldn't attract too much attention. "Miss Hua, are you okay?" Kevin was a little impatient when she didn't come out for a long time. He yelled into the women's bathroom. "Yes, I'm fine. I'm having a stomachache." "Wait for me," Huamin replied in fluent English. Huamin leaned against the wall and racked her brain, thinking of a way to escape. After all, if she didn't find a way to leave this time, once she got into the car with them, there might be no turning back. Suddenly, a thought flashed through her mind as she thought of an idea. Chapter 3141. Did Huamian still remember how Huasi's men kidnapped her twin daughters? Although Huasi wasn't very smart, his plan was very well thought out. At that thought, Huamin wondered if a cleaner would come in. Just as he had this thought, he saw a woman wearing a mask walk in. She was holding a bucket and a mop. "Hello, Auntie. Can you do me a favor?" Huamin walked over and asked. "What is it, madam?" "There's a group of people outside. They're all bad guys. They want to kidnap my child and ask my husband for money. I'm almost 3 months pregnant. I have to leave this place now and get rid of them. So, can you lend me your clothes and things to wear? But this is my job. I can't explain myself." The woman didn't seem very willing. Huamin took out a few large dollar bills from his bag and handed them over. "Please, can you help me? I'm a pregnant woman. I don't want my children and I to be kidnapped by bad guys." The woman's eyes lit up when she saw the dollars. Everyone knew that US dollars were the currency of many big countries. Even if you couldn't spend it, you could exchange it at the bank. A few hundred US dollars was equivalent to a few thousand yuan. In the end, the woman couldn't resist the temptation of money. She nodded and agreed to exchange her clothes with Huamin. 2 minutes later, the cleaner walked out of the toilet with dirty hair and a dirty face. There were water stains on her body. She was holding a bucket and a mop. She didn't walk very fast. When she walked out, Kevin and his men instinctively took a few steps back and distanced themselves from her. They had a look of disdain on their faces. After all, she was a toilet cleaner and wasn't respected by others. However, this was the effect Huamin wanted. Back then, Huasi's men took advantage of this and secretly kidnapped the twins from the toilet. Therefore, at this moment, Huamin really wanted to thank Huasiqian. At this time, he used this method to successfully leave the mall. When he walked out of the mall, Huamin left from the back door. He didn't want to attract the attention of the people at the front door. Huamin left about 5 minutes later. Kevin looked at his watch impatiently. After all, with Ian's identity as a terrorist, he had to be very careful in various countries. Are you done yet? It's been a long time. Kevin asked loudly again. This time, there was no response. Mrs. Chin, are you done? Can you answer me? Kevin asked again. Mr. Kevin, something doesn't seem right. One of his men frowned. You, go in and take a look. Search them one by one. If you see anyone, bring them out. Kevin was already impatient, so he didn't plan to be polite to Huamin. However, when they entered, nothing was found. The man searched the entire female toilet and only found a cleaner who was curled up in the toilet storage room. She was wearing Huamin's clothes, but she had another face. Hence, Kevin's subordinates grabbed the female lead and dragged her in front of Kevin. Mr. Kevin, the woman disappeared. We only found this woman. Where is she? Kevin choked the woman's neck. I don't know. I don't know anything. The woman shook her head in fear. Then why are you wearing her clothes? Kevin asked fiercely. That's because she said that bad guys wanted to catch her. She's pregnant, so she changed clothes with me. Oh no. Boss, the cleaner who went out just now was Miss Hua. What should we do now? The group of people panicked. They didn't expect the person they had captured to escape. If Mr. Ian knew, he would chop off their heads. Chapter 3142. Now you're asking me what to do? Why aren't you chasing after her? A bunch of idiots. When Kevin learned that Huamin had run away, he was so angry that he almost shot her. If he didn't do what Mr. Ian told him to do, he would be in deep trouble. At this time, he really regretted that he didn't tie this Chinese woman up directly at the small hotel and stuff her into the car. Now, there were more problems. He never thought that such a young and quiet woman would be so quick-witted. He still remembered that before he left, Lord Ian had told him not to be too rough when capturing people. He had to be gentle and try his best to coax them. It seemed that this woman was a very important person to Master Ian. After careful consideration, Kevin decided not to use force on Huamian. However, he didn't expect her to escape by slipping away halfway through. At Kevin's command, his men all ran out. In a small town like this, where there were not many Asians, there were not many of them. It was very easy to find a woman. After Huamin left the mall, she kept going to crowded places. However, it was very difficult to find a crowded place in the wee hours of the morning. Foreigners had different habits and didn't have busy night markets. She dodged left and right. She learned her lesson from being followed by a black man, so she didn't dare to take the small roads or the main roads. She could only take one step at a time. Fortunately, he was lucky enough to run into a night bus that was arranged for employees working overtime in some companies. Just like that, she got on a bus. Since she didn't have any local currency, she used a large US dollar bill. The Australian driver was so shocked that his jaw almost dropped. He was about to argue with her when a kind foreign beauty helped Huamin put in the US dollar. Are you a tourist? She asked. Yes, I'm new here. I don't know much. Thank you. Huamin lowered her head and thanked the beauty. It's okay. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. God bless you, girl. Huamin could tell that the beauty was a Christian. That was why she said, God. However, she was indeed kind, so Huamin was sincerely grateful. In return, he put a large amount of US dollars in the beauty's hand. But the little beauty refused to accept it no matter what he said. At this time, the bus started to move slowly. Huamin looked very inconspicuous in the crowd of tall Australians. From the early hours of the previous day until now, the sky was almost bright, but they still hadn't left this small town. Was this a blessing or a curse? She didn't even know where the car was going. By the time Kevin's men came out, the bus was already far away. They searched the area several times, but they couldn't find any trace of Huamin. Kevin clenched his fists in anger. All of you, continue to search for her. You must find her, otherwise, we will all be killed by the Lord. Yes. Then, Kevin's subordinates dispersed again. On the other side, inside a motel, how is it? Did you find anything? Riley asked. I found out that Miss Hua accidentally entered a small motel in the ghetto and killed a black man who tried to harm her. Where are they now? Still in a small hotel? No, he was taken away. Who took him away? I'm not sure who they are. Oh no, you guys go and find a way to stop them. We can't let Miss Hua leave Tasmania because our boss is waking up. Boss, the boss is awake, but there's no one on the island. He's still chained up. Shouldn't we send someone to check on him? John, come here. Riley waved at John. Chapter 3143. Boss, what's your order? Take 2 of us back to the island on a speedboat. When the boss wakes up, let him out immediately. But we don't have the key. Miss Hua didn't give us the key either. Are you an idiot? We can break the chains with a gun. John said to the other guy. Oh, that works. The guy scratched his head. Boss, are we going back now? Riley nodded. How can we be sure if the boss is himself or his second personality? If it's his second personality, will he kill us? John was one of the smarter ones and thought more about it. It's impossible. I've given the boss medicine and he'll wake up for sure. There's no possibility of him having a second personality. Okay, let's go now. Yeah. The boss will probably leave the island with you guys to catch Miss Hua. Okay. After giving the orders, Riley was still worried and followed the other guys to look for Huamin. Meanwhile, Huamin wanted to find a small motel after getting off the bus. She was worried about the safety of the motel in the ghetto last time. This time, Huamin thought she shouldn't go in. She could find a bus stop or subway station to spend the night there. But on second thought, that place wasn't as safe as a small motel. Not long after she walked, she was pleasantly surprised to find a 24-hour convenience store. The most surprising thing was that the name of the store was in Chinese. It seemed to be a Chinese store. Huamin didn't have time to think and walked in. What do you want to buy? The lady boss was doing some calculations with her calculator. I'm a little hungry. Can I have instant noodles here? Do you have hot water? The lady boss found it strange that Huamian would eat instant noodles at this hour. Are you a tourist? The Chinese lady boss looked at Huamin and asked in Chinese. Huamin nodded. Why are you walking outside at this hour? Don't you know it's dangerous here at night? I ran into some trouble. I had to, Huamin said vaguely. All right, I'll boil some water and instant noodles for you first. The lady boss was a good person. Seeing the pitiful look on the little girl's face, she immediately felt pity for her. Big sister, I found a foreign boyfriend, but he's a pervert. He abused me many times. We quarreled and I'm pregnant. I'm afraid that he'll hit me again, so I ran away. I think he and his friends are looking for me everywhere, so, can you help me? Huamin did not care anymore. He decided to give it a try. After all, not everyone was a bad person, right? Moreover, he was a Chinese. He should have pity for her. After all, they were from the same ancestor. As expected, after hearing what Huamin said, the lady boss was very surprised. You aren't a tourist? I'm not. I came to this place with my boyfriend, but he's different from before. If he doesn't agree with me, he'll hit me. I regret it now. I really want to go home. Huamin said with tears in his eyes. Don't cry. Miss, come in first. Big sister, can you turn off the lights and close the shop first? I'm afraid that they'll find you later and you'll be in trouble. Please, I'll compensate you if you suffer any losses. Huamin looked out the window nervously, afraid that someone would follow them in. That's not a problem. I'll close the shop now. You don't have to compensate me. The big sister seemed to believe Huamin completely. She immediately turned off the lights and locked the door. Huamin was relieved. Come in with me, okay? Everyone looked at the girl's pitiful look and couldn't bear to see her like this. You just said that you're pregnant? The big sister looked at Huamin suspiciously. Chapter 3144. If you don't believe me, you can give me a pregnancy test right now. I can show you the results, Huamin explained. No, miss, that's not what I meant. You might have misunderstood. What I meant was that if you were really pregnant, your boyfriend would be a scumbag if he hit you. I think so too. Huamin nodded. Come, sit down and rest. Don't tire yourself out. Thank you, big sister. You're welcome. We're all Chinese, so of course I'll help you. How far along are you? Almost 3 months. Whoa, I couldn't tell that you're so skinny. A lot of things have happened recently and I'm not in a good mood, Huamin said slowly. Pregnant women can't eat instant noodles. It's junk food and it's not nutritious. Wait here, I'll make you something to eat. No, big sister, I'm grateful that you took me in. I don't want to trouble you. I'll just eat instant noodles. Huamin really didn't want to trouble this big sister. She seemed like a nice person, and she didn't want to drag her down. She didn't tell her the truth because she had some concerns. First, she was worried that big sister might betray her. Second, she was worried that the more big sister knew, the more trouble she would cause in the future. Therefore, Huamin made up the story of her foreign boyfriend beating her up, just to cover it up. It's no trouble, it's okay. I'm a good cook, and it's more than enough to make you a bowl of hot vegetable noodle soup. Wait here. The big sister was a nice person, so Huamin couldn't stop her. She went into the kitchen anyway. Huamin sat in the small room and looked around the small convenience store. It wasn't big at all. The big sister sold a lot of things that Chinese people like to eat. There were even some pickled vegetables, fermented bean curd, chili sauce, and other specialties. It was really heartwarming to see things from China in a foreign country. Soon, the big sister came out with hot noodle soup and placed it on the small table beside Huamin. Sister, eat it while it's hot. Don't starve the baby in your belly. Really, big sister, I don't know how to thank you. Don't be so courteous. I'll bring you some pickled vegetables. As she spoke, she got up and went to the shelf of the supermarket to find a bag of pickled mustard for Huamin. To be able to eat a bowl of piping hot noodles in the middle of the night was truly a blessing. Miss, it's not that I want to nag at you. There's a phenomenon in China that's really bad. Many domestic girls like to worship foreigners and fawn over them. They think that foreigners who know how to chant scriptures are so rich, as if they're superior to foreigners. But the truth isn't that simple. Many domestic girls are hot-headed and marry foreigners. Not only do they not speak the same language, but the cultural differences between the two sides are huge. After a long time, their relationship will definitely not last. In the end, their families will be ruined. I've been in Australia for many years, and I've seen a lot of such things. I really don't agree with some young girls who find foreign husbands just to worship. It's not that good abroad, and it's not necessarily paradise. Big sister, I understand what you mean. Huamin nodded guiltily. Looking at you like this, even I feel sorry for you. My shop hired a girl who came from China to work. She wanted to earn some money so she could go home and get married, but she didn't want to. I don't know where she found a black man, but when they came back to China, they were detained at the airport. A large amount of heroin was found in the suitcase. She was dumbfounded. Even after being sold, she still helped others count the money. Tell me, isn't this a tragedy? You young girls. Sigh, I don't know what to say. Girl, you're quite young, what do you do for a living? The big sister asked casually. But Huamin hesitated. Chapter 3145. I'm an intern doctor, actually. Doctor? You're a medical student? Huamin nodded. That's amazing. Let me tell you, we need Chinese doctors like you overseas who can open their own private clinics because it's really hard to get a number here. It's different from our country. Look at you, why do you have to suffer? Why don't you abort the child and break up with your boyfriend? I'll introduce you to someone else. Let me tell you, I have a friend whose son is really outstanding. He works in Sydney as a financial planner and earns tens of thousands a month. He has a car and a house, and he's already an Australian citizen. Do you know what's so good about this place? It's because there are so few people in Australia that the government encourages people to have more children. The more children you have, the more subsidies you get. Isn't that great? Huamin suddenly didn't know what to say. What do you think of my suggestion, girl? Big sis, I appreciate your kindness, but I can't abort the child. It's my child after all. I'm not that heartless. That's easy. Why don't your husband come down and I'll find someone to adopt the child for you? Otherwise, you won't be able to find a good man to marry. I don't want to find one. I've never thought about it. What are you talking about? You're still young. I'm not young anymore. I'm 27, almost 30, Huamin corrected her. You're still young, silly girl. You should make plans for yourself while you're still young. Huamin suddenly felt uncomfortable lying. No wonder people always said that people shouldn't lie so easily. One lie had to be covered up with 100 lies. She really wanted to tell her sister the truth. Not only was she old, but she also had 2 cute daughters. But then, she thought about it and decided to continue chatting with her sister. It wasn't true anyway. Young lady, listen to me. You're right, big sis, how did you come to Australia? From your accent, you sound like you're from Shandong. Yeah, how did you know? Her sister was surprised. Because I've been there before. The people there are very simple and warm. Yes, my hometown is Yanggu in Shandong province, the hometown of martial arts. Have you heard of it? Yes, it's a very famous place. Huamin nodded. I've been here for 7 or 8 years. At first, my daughter came here because she was gambling. Then, she settled down here and found a Chinese husband. Later, she gave birth to a child and had no one to take care of it, so I came here to help. Later, when the child went to school, I had nothing to do, so my daughter opened a small shop for me to pass the time. Is your husband here too? Huamin asked. My husband died 15 years ago in a car accident. Oh, I'm sorry, big sister. I didn't mean it. It's fine. Let's talk about you. If you're willing, I'll tell my old friend that both mother and son are in Sydney tomorrow. What do you think? Ahem. Big sis, I'm done eating. I'm going to wash the dishes. Let me do it. You're pregnant now. You can't do this. Everyone snatched Huamin's bowl away. It could be seen that he was really a very warm-hearted person. Big sis, I'm a little tired. I'm going to sleep for a while. I'll be fine after a short nap. How can that be? Go upstairs. That's my bedroom. It's clean. It's not only dirty here, but it's also cold. It's really fine. I'll stay here until daybreak. You're leaving at daybreak? Why are you in such a hurry? Where are you going now? I'm going back to China to find my family, Huamin said. Just as she finished speaking, before Big Sister could reply, the sound of noisy footsteps suddenly came from outside the door. The camera saw her disappear around here. Search every house. You must find her. The foreign man's voice came from outside. Huamin was shocked and quickly got up. Chapter 3146. Oh my God, are these people here to catch you? The woman seemed to be a little flustered. Yeah. Huamin nodded. Quick, hide in my closet upstairs. Don't let them find you. Everyone found a place for Huamin to hide. However, Huamin refused to do it. No, sis, they'll definitely turn your house upside down. You have to leave here. But it's not even dawn yet. Where are you going? It's okay, I can go anywhere. I can't drag you into this. Sis, is there a back door? I have to leave. Can't you hide in the basement or something? Do you have to leave? You don't understand these people's methods. They won't give up until they find me. You and I just met by chance, and you've helped me up to this point. It's already very kind of you. You even cooked noodles for me. Big sister, I'll remember this kindness in my heart. Huamin took out some US dollars. Oh, my little girl, you're still thinking of giving me money at a time like this? I don't want it. If that's the case, hurry up and leave through the back door. The woman refused to take the money no matter what. Then, if I don't die, I'll definitely repay you. Thank you. Huamin was very serious. She bent down and bowed deeply to this warm-hearted woman from Shandong. This was probably the only warm-hearted person she had met on her escape. Don't do that, Mississippi. You're pregnant, don't get hit. The woman was also a little flustered. Then, Huamin followed the woman out of the convenience store through the back door. At this time, the sky seemed to be about to brighten. The sky was beginning to turn white. Miss, how about you find a place to hide first? When the sun rises and the workers go to work, you can go to the Chinese consulate and ask for protection. They'll definitely do their best to send you back to China. They won't let your boyfriend hurt you. Okay. Huamin nodded and didn't explain further. I'll leave first. Big sister, if they come in, just say that you don't know anything. Those people probably won't do anything to you. Yeah, I'm fine. I've been here for 7 or 8 years, so I know how to deal with them. Just like that, Huamin thanked the big sister again and left the convenience store under her gaze. Huamin actually didn't know where to go. He wasn't very familiar with this unfamiliar place, so he could only go wherever he went. However, she knew that she had to try her best to avoid it. If she was caught, it wouldn't be easy for her to escape. This was for sure. Sydney, Australia. After receiving Lu Yan's call, Xiao Fei met her at the hotel. When Lu Yan pushed open the door and walked in, it was obvious that she wasn't in a good mood. How is it? Did you find it? Xiao Fei stood up. Damn it. I checked one by one, but it's not her, Lu Yan said in a huff. That's impossible. Since Qin Chu found out that Sister Mian was in Australia, she must be in Australia. How could he not find her after checking so many places? Xiao Fei thought that Qin Chu's source of information couldn't be wrong. We checked all the files. What do you mean? Xiao Fei seemed to have understood something. The key is that there are still files. Australia is too fucking strange. The islands sold by the government are monopolized by the owners of the islands for the 2nd or 3rd time. It's harder than climbing to the sky to find out. Then what should we do? Xiao Fei walked over and wanted to comfort Lu Yan. Chapter 3147. What should I do? Do nothing? Anyway, I'll do whatever it takes to find my sister. Didn't you say my brother-in-law is in Sydney? When will he meet me? Xiao Fei asked. I don't know yet. I've sent him all the relevant information. With his personality, he'll contact me when he arrives in Sydney. Then Lu Yan looked at her watch. It's already so late. He should be here, unless... Lu Yan wanted to say something but stopped. No, we can't wait any longer. I'm running out of patience. I have to go to Smith's house. Think, this old psycho is hiding something. I'll go with you. Xiao Fei stood up. Aren't you afraid of being traumatized? Lu Yan teased Xiao Fei with a smile. He's the one who's traumatized, Xiao Fei said calmly. Where's Amy? Lu Yan looked around but didn't see her female subordinate inside or outside the room. I sent her away, Xiao Fei said. Why did you send her away? I'm here to protect you, you idiot. Lu Yan said. I don't need a burden. Thank you, Xiao Fei explained and walked out of the room. Lu Yan shook her head helplessly at his aloofness. Just like that, Lu Yan didn't see Qin Chu. Feeling impatient, she went to Smith's house with Xiao Fei again. He wanted to interrogate Smith about the whereabouts of the secret island by torturing him. South Hill Manor. There was a 2-hour time difference between China and Australia, so it was around 4 a.m. in Australia. In China, it was around 2 a.m., the darkness before dawn. In the upstairs bedroom of South Hill Manor, Pudding had a scary dream. She dreamed that during her and her sister's birthday party, her mom suddenly came back. Then she was covered in blood. Before she could ask, her mom fell to the ground and blood flowed like a river. She kept calling her mom, but she wouldn't wake up no matter what. Pudding woke up in fright, sweating profusely. Then he started to pant heavily. "Mommy, don't." Little Bean suddenly woke up from her sleep. Pudding hugged her sister instinctively. "Little Bean, wake up." "I'm scared. I'm so scared." Little Bean choked. "What's wrong? Did you have a nightmare?" Pudding asked softly. "Yeah, I dreamt that Mommy fell off the cliff again and was washed away by the sea." "I miss Mommy," Little Bean said as she cried. Coincidentally, Pudding also had a bad dream. It seemed that Pudding and his sister's hearts were really connected. "Don't cry, silly. I heard that dreams are reversed. If you have such a dream, it means that Mommy will be back soon." "Really? Sis, don't lie to me." Little Bean stopped crying and hugged her sister even tighter. "Yes, I'm not lying to you, really. I hope Mommy will come back soon. I really miss her. Sis, when Mommy comes back, the two of us have to listen to her and not make her angry, okay?" "Okay, I'll be a good boy and won't make Mommy angry again." Pudding nodded sadly. Tasmania Huamin stumbled all the way to an abandoned overpass. She found that walking on the overpass was too eye-catching. There weren't many people on the road, and if she continued walking, she would be caught soon. As soon as she reached the overpass, before she could catch her breath, a figure suddenly pounced on her from behind and grabbed her tightly. She was so shocked that she was about to scream when she smelled the scent that she hadn't felt for a long time coming from her neck. At this moment, it was as if her heart was about to stop. Chapter 3148. Mian, I'm here to take you home. Qin Chu's voice was very soft, as if he was afraid that he would scare Huamin if he spoke louder. The moment she heard Qin Chu's voice, Huamin, who had been holding on for the past few days, finally burst into tears. She turned around abruptly and wrapped her arms tightly around Qin Chu's neck. She was so scared that if she let go of him, he would still be there. Huamin leaned against Qin Chu's chest and cried quietly. Although it wasn't heart-wrenching or earth-shattering, Qin Chu knew that she must have suffered a lot these days. "Don't cry, good girl, my heart will break." Qin Chu carefully reached out his hand and wiped Huamin's tears. "Honey, I'm fine, so is the baby." After crying, Huamin was afraid that Qin Chu would be worried, so she immediately reported her condition. I know. Qin Chu held Huamin's face in his hands and gently kissed her forehead, cheeks, and the tip of her nose. Finally, his lips landed on her slightly cold and fatally seductive lips. This kiss felt as if it had been a lifetime ago. Huamin felt like she hadn't seen Qin Chu for a few lifetimes. Her emotions were extremely complicated. Surprise, shock, excitement, relief, and grievance. In short, everything was contained in her tears. "It's too cold here. Let's go, let's get in the car first." After speaking without waiting for Huamin to speak, Qin Chu directly carried Huamin horizontally and walked out from under the overpass, stepping on the muddy road. "Sir, your injury." The subordinate who followed them was also worried that Qin Chu's injury would be torn if he carried the madam like this, since he had just undergone surgery. However, before he could speak, Qin Chu's cold gaze scared him into swallowing his words. Before he came here, he had already told them not to tell Huamin about the surgery. Everything would be decided by Huamin. He did not want Huamin to worry about his health. "Hubby, what's wrong with you?" Seeing his subordinate's hesitant look, he asked. Qin Chu smiled gently. Then, he couldn't help but lower his head again and kiss Huamin's lips. "It's okay. I didn't sleep much because I was rushing to catch the plane. They were afraid that I would fall asleep while holding you and throw you on the ground." Huamin, Mr. Qin's joke wasn't funny at all. Along the way, Huamin was like a koala bear, clinging tightly to Qin Chu's chest and refusing to come down. "Hubby, am I heavy?" "Yes, it's not light." "Huh, that's because your second child took up a portion of your weight." Yes, the baby said that he wasn't going to take the blame for mommy. He wasn't born yet, Qin Chu said in all seriousness. Haha. Hubby, can you not be so funny? Are you trying to make me laugh to death? So that you can take over my silver account in King of Glory? Qin Chu. Just like that, in order to ease the tense atmosphere, Qin Chu kept teasing Huamin. Qin Chu didn't want to cry at their reunion after such a long separation. The problem was, his beloved wife was pregnant. Crying too much was not good for both the child and the mother. Therefore, Mr. Qin was going all out. He had always been a serious person, but now, he was acting funny like Tang Chuan and Su Yu. Qin Chu carried Huamin into the back seat of the black Mercedes-Benz Spider. Sir, what should we do with the people who tried to kill Madam? One of Qin Chu's subordinates stood at the car door and asked carefully. Qin Chu raised his right hand and made a gotcha gesture. His subordinates immediately understood. Hubby, how did you know I was here? How did you find me? Huamin was amazed. She rested her head on Qin Chu's shoulder and asked coquettishly. Qin Chu knew that she was in Tasmania and that she was hiding under an overpass. Did he use a satellite to locate her? That was way too accurate. Chapter 3149. Because we have telepathy. I don't believe you. Hurry up and tell me. I really want to know. At this moment, Huamin didn't care about Dr. Hua's image or the halo of a genius girl. She just wanted to cuddle up in Mr. Qin's arms and act like a spoiled child. Ning Ning called me and told me that you called home. I looked at the number on the caller ID and found that you were in Tasmania. So you came here directly? Yeah. I was going to Sydney, but after I found your location, I flew here directly. But Tasmania is big, okay? How did you find me so quickly? Huamin still couldn't believe it. I first went to the small hotel where you made the first call, but I found that you weren't there. I also knew that there were 2 groups of people after you. So I was even more anxious, so I asked a special friend to help me. A special friend? Huamin was even more confused. Barton, come here. Qin Chu whistled. A tall black military dog immediately ran over to Qin Chu's car. It stuck out its tongue and looked extremely beautiful. Military dog? Yeah. I asked a friend to get it. It was flown in from Sydney. I heard it's very good. It can find the owner of your old stuff just by smelling it. So, what did you take from me and let the military dog smell it? Huamin was even more curious. Qin Chu carefully took out a piece of clothing from his handbag and showed it to Huamin. Seeing the clothing, Huamin was so touched that she almost cried again. This was her work uniform at Southside. It was a white lab coat and was her favorite. She hadn't had time to wash it yet, so not only did it have her scent on it, but it also had the smell of formalin disinfectant. Oh my God, you're amazing! Huamin was impressed by her husband's meticulous thinking. At a time like this, he was especially thoughtful. By the way, hubby Huasiqian is still on that island. The island? I don't know what it's called, and I can't tell you where it is. But Huasiqian has a man named Riley, a German. He has always worked for Huasiqian, and he should still be in this town. If you catch him, you will know where Huasiqian is hiding. I've already sent someone to do it. Also, Huasiqian's second personality came out. That's why I had a chance. Huamin wanted to tell her husband everything that had happened. However, Qin Chu reached out and covered her mouth. Mian, don't worry. What you need to do now is rest. Get a good night's sleep. I'll take care of everything, okay? Qin Chu's gentle voice was like a magic drug, making Huamin let down her guard and relax. Yeah, I didn't sleep well. I'm so sleepy. Huamin smiled. Qin Chu hugged her and let her head rest on his lap. Luckily, there was enough space in the car. Hubby, are the kids okay? Huamin's voice sounded tired. They're fine. What about Mom, Dad, Mom, and Ji? They're fine too. What about Su Yu and the others? Good. What about Lingling and Xiaowei? Everyone's fine. Qin Chu patiently answered each of her questions. When I go back, I really want to go back to work at Southside. I miss Jie, my friends, and my colleague, President Wu. The more Huamin talked, the more sleepy she became. In less than 2 minutes, she fell asleep. At this moment, Qin Chu took out his cell phone and dialed Lu Yan's number. Brother-in-law, how's it going? You didn't come to Sydney because you found something new? Lu Yan was anxious. Look who this is. Qin Chu pointed the cell phone camera at the sleeping Huamin. Chapter 3150. Lu Yan looked at the camera and saw Huamin's sleeping face. Her eyes lit up. Big sister? She said affectionately. When did you find her? Lu Yan was thrilled. Just now. She's not hurt, is she? No. She and the baby are fine. My goodness. My goodness. I'm so excited. Send me your current address. I'll fly to you right now. I'm not in a hurry. I have some things to take care of. I'll take her to Sydney to meet you later. Can I talk to her? Lu Yan bit her lips like a little girl and didn't know what to do. She must be tired from hiding and just fell asleep, Qin Chu explained. At this moment, Xiao Fei walked over and placed his hand on Lu Yan's shoulder. Yan, Sister Mian must be exhausted. Let her rest. Didn't our brother-in-law say he'd take her to Sydney? But I can't wait. Lu Yan was slightly disappointed. I promise you that I'll be there soon. I won't call the professor because I don't think the signal source in Tasmania is that safe. I'm afraid that it will be monitored or tracked and bring him trouble. So, tell him that your sister has been found and tell him not to worry. I'll contact my dad. Lu Yan nodded. That's all. See you later. Okay. Lu Yan hung up reluctantly. Then, she turned around excitedly and threw her arms around Xiao Fei's neck. Psycho Xiao, you found my sister. She's fine. She and the baby are fine. I know. I heard everything. Xiao Fei smiled helplessly. This girl was like a bandit when she was domineering, but she was like a child when she was coquettish. It was a big contrast. But Xiao Fei liked the real Lu Yan. She said whatever was on her mind and never schemed against others. My sister will come to Sydney soon. What do you think I should wear when I see her? By the way, what should I take her to eat? Chinese food or Western food? Should we go to the Sydney Opera House to take photos? My sister has never been to Australia. And, should I give her a koala bear as a souvenir? Tell me, is a koala better or a kangaroo better? When the time comes, I can send them back to China with my private jet. My 2 little nieces will also like it very much, right? Xiao Fei, what's with that look on your face? Can you give me some ideas? Lu Yan was excited that her sister had returned safely. Xiao Fei felt that he couldn't get a word in. My beloved Miss Lu Yan, can you stop imagining things? It's good that my sister is fine. The 4 of us can eat and drink tea together. We're already very happy. Don't be so sensational with your kangaroos and koalas. It's so eye-catching. What if the Australian government comes to find trouble with us? You think I'm afraid of those bureaucrats? What a joke. Do you believe that I can blow them up with a bomb? Lu Yan said domineeringly. The subordinates behind him all laughed. Who did he want to blow up at the slightest provocation? Other people might think that Lu Yan was bragging. But for Lu Yan, she could make a simple bomb in less than 30 seconds. Her own headquarters had countless bombs of different sizes. Her firepower was so strong that even Ian forgot to stop. No wonder she was the professor's daughter. She was indeed a bomb genius. I believe you. You're the best. Xiao Fei laughed as well. Seeing Lu Yan in such a good mood, his efforts weren't wasted. Psycho Xiao, you played a big part in seducing Schmidt. Tell me, what do you want as a reward? Lu Yan suddenly thought of this joke. Chapter 3151. Can you give me any reward I want? Of course. As long as it's within my power, I'll give you money, beautiful women, luxury cars, weapons, and even bombs. Lu Yan was in a good mood after rescuing Huamian, so she promised generously. I'm sure it's within your power, but I'm afraid you won't give it to me. Bullshit. I've always been an indomitable spirit. How can I go back on my words? Who do you think I am? Lu Yen was furious. If you say so, then I'll take it. Xiao Fei rubbed the tip of his nose and rolled his eyes. Tell me about it. Lu Yen waved her hand in a forthright manner. At this moment, Lu Yan's subordinates began to whisper among themselves. Hey, what do you think young Master Qiao wants? Could it be some kind of powerful weapon? I don't think so. Young Master Qiao isn't interested in weapons. Then he can't give you US dollars. The Qiao family is rich and young Master Qiao doesn't care about money. Do you think he'll take away our boss's private jet? Or the limited edition Bugatti Veyron that boss won when he was racing in Florida? No way, I didn't know that young Master Qiao liked cars. Young Master Qiao is a shrewd person. We can't easily see through what he's thinking. Otherwise, why would he be with boss for so long? Anyway, let's wait for the show. The thing that young Master Qiao wants is definitely not ordinary. Psycho Qiao, tell me. Do you want me to die from anxiety? Lu Yen was impatient. Give me a baby, Xiao Fei said solemnly after 5 seconds of silence. Lu Yen, fuck. The people behind Lu Yen burst into laughter, except for her female subordinate, Amy. Lu Yen was at a loss for words. You're the leader of a mercenary group. You won't go back on your words, right? Xiao Fei began to write a note to Lu Yen. It's okay if you go back on your words. I don't expect you to keep your word anyway, Xiao Fei said deliberately. Damn you. When have I, Lu Yen, ever gone back on my words? So, when are you going to give birth to my child? Xiao Fei asked calmly. After all, Lu Yen was a girl. No matter how tough she was, she would still feel shy when it came to the intimacy between men and women. Therefore, her cheeks turned crimson, while look, our boss is blushing. That's for sure. Boss is interested in young Master Qiao as well. The two of them often argue with each other. If boss gets married, all the mercenaries and assassins in the world will come. Just thinking about it makes my blood boil. You guys are overthinking it. Who knows what's going on? Aimi suddenly said. Aimi, what's wrong with you? How can you pour cold water on us when we're in such high spirits? Someone retorted. I'm not. I'm just stating facts. Boss has made a lot of enemies over the years. Once boss gets married and gets pregnant, she won't be as agile as before. I'm afraid she'll be hunted down by the whole world. Our boss won't do such a thing. So, it's impossible for her to give birth to a child for Xiao Fei. I. Lu Yen almost stuttered under Xiao Fei's questioning. I knew you'd be like this. Then, Xiao Fei turned to leave with a cold face. Hey, Psycho Qiao, don't go. Listen to me. Lu Yen chased after him in a hurry. Are you going to give birth or not? Xiao Fei suppressed his laughter and asked Lu Yen seriously. Lu Yen gritted her teeth and nodded. When are you going to give birth? Xiao Fei didn't seem to want to let her go. Chapter 3152. Damn it. Give birth now. Let's go. Take off your clothes. Lu Yen pulled Xiao Fei toward the suite in the hotel. Xiao Fei, do you think our boss is serious this time? Who knows? Maybe our boss wanted to take advantage of young Master Qiao for a long time. His subordinates were watching the drama unfold. Ai Mi's face was dark. She couldn't understand. Young Master Qiao was a handsome young master of an aristocratic family. Why would he like a wild woman like Lu Yen? In a small town in Tasmania, the sky was completely bright, the convenience store was in a mess. The average-sized shop was smashed beyond recognition. The shopkeeper was forced to kneel on the ground, shivering in fear. A group of people locked up the convenience store and interrogated the lady boss. So, you still don't want to tell me? Kevin pulled the shopkeeper's hair viciously. I really don't know. That girl stayed for a while and left after eating a bowl of noodles. Stop pretending. If she didn't know you, why would she come to your small store? I really don't know her. It's just that since we're all Chinese, I'll help if I can. Besides, as her boyfriend, you're such a scumbag. You hit your girlfriend when she's pregnant. Are you still human? The lady boss was also a sentimental person. Seeing Kevin, she thought he was the scumbag Huamin said beat her up. Boyfriend? What the hell is this? Kevin was also dumbfounded. At this moment, the lady boss said, "Let me tell you, this young lady came all the way to Australia with you. It must be because of love. If you don't treat her well, don't make promises to her. Now that you've brought her out and left her home, you're going to be judged by God." What nonsense are you talking about? Are you crazy? Kevin was a little annoyed. Anyway, I'm just fighting for justice for our Chinese girl. You were tricked by that woman, right? Kevin heard something. That's impossible. That girl is indeed pregnant. Her lower abdomen is slightly bulging. Even I can see it. The eldest sister firmly believed that Huamin's pregnancy was real. I said, "What she told you isn't true. She's not my girlfriend. Let me tell you, that woman's identity is very special. She's the person my boss is looking for. If you don't tell me where she is, I'll send you to meet your God right now." After saying that, Kevin took out a black pistol and pressed it against the lady boss's head. The lady boss felt her entire body go numb. This was a foreign country, and these pistols were not toy guns. They were all real. Right now, his life was hanging by a thread. Don't mess around. Let me tell you, my daughter and son-in-law are very powerful here. They know a very famous lawyer. You guys are messing around in my shop and threatening me. You won't have a good ending. Boss, this woman talks a lot of nonsense. Why don't we just kill her? One of his subordinates suggested. Kevin seemed to have lost his patience. He didn't want to listen to the eldest sister's nagging anymore. I'll ask you one last time. Where did that woman go? Where did she go? When did she go? You better tell me. The lady boss suddenly realized that this wasn't as simple as a boyfriend and girlfriend quarreling. These people didn't look like ordinary street thugs. Could it be that that girl really tricked her? If she said that she didn't know, she would be killed by this guy immediately. But she really didn't know. That girl disappeared after going out the back door. You won't tell me? Very well. Then don't blame me, Kevin said as he slowly pulled the trigger in his hand. The lady boss was so scared that she broke out in a cold sweat. She closed her eyes, knowing that she was done for. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.